Hey, what's going on YouTube? Kenny here, and today I want to have a little bit of chit chat with you, just a real talk about why I've changed my mind on Tesla. And I got to apologize to Levi because, I've been pretty bearish on Tesla. I mean, I did call a little bit of the peel here to 530, but I do think right now Tesla is probably about to emerge out of this little bear cave and probably run a little bit here. So, interestingly enough, AI Day probably didn't give it the folks who are bullish on Tesla the kind of catalyst they thought it could or should deserve. And that's because a lot of that was pie in the sky. But to me, honestly, that's the catalyst I was waiting for. And so, previously I was very bearish on Tesla, mainly because of the price to earnings ratio almost at 1,000 at one point, right? We're closer to 325. That's better. And they're actually making money now. That's better. Yes, there's credits and all this other stuff. Yes, Elon day traded Bitcoin for Q1. But let's get over that. The catalyst, why it's important to me, is this. If you want to say that you're more than a car company, you have to tell me that, right? Elon Musk and the Tesla website has never said that they're any more than just an energy company. But with the introduction of their semiconductor, right, their AI chip, and with the introduction of at least a roadmap for a crazy robot, which may or may not happen in the next 20 years, don't care. But the point is they have a roadmap. I was definitely waiting for Elon to just be less recalcitrant to AI and say, fuck it, let's go live. And as soon as he said that, which is what AI Day was to me, as soon as he said that, I had definitely have to change my mind on Tesla. So I'm going to talk to you about Tesla, but biggest thing here is, I am going to be bullish here. We're doing it in our long-term no-look portfolio. So even if it dips, even if it gets down to 400 and starts cratering, we're buyers. We're net buyers now, boys and girls. I'm not going to give you the kind of coverage that some of these Tesla boys give you because they get into the nuance. They're fanboys. They care about all those little kind of particulars that I don't care about. Thing I care about is I want the Tesla to drive me from point A to point B safely and when I'm sleeping. That just gives me more time to increase the GDP of America. But anyways, one thing that I looked at today, one thing that is out today that's really cool is the new Gartner hype cycle chart for the emerging technologies for 2021 August. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. 1 second. So if you're new to this channel, Redcliffe Research is a independent research think tank / firm that deals a lot with signal detection, looking for anomalies in the noise, trying to find that evidence-based research and using that quant to help retail investors like me and you, retail investors, do a little bit better. And so anyways, this is the Gartner hype cycle from 2010. You're like, Kenny, why are you showing me that? That's 2010. We already know this. I just want to back test, kind of take a look, go back in time. So some of the things that we're looking at here's, the triangles are 10-year plus, but like mobile robots, that's pretty cool. Social analytics, that's really, really, really premium, 2 to 5 years that actually really, really happened. And so this is kind of a big piece for me and kind of the way that my tech company works on things. So pretty cool. But obviously, if you were going to put it here, it's probably over here. So if you don't know what the hype cycle is, essentially it shows like sentiment through time, right? And it just shows how it peaks and gets overinflated and then it conflates. And then it goes through what they call a trough of disillusionment. So basically it goes the way down and then it kind of normalizes. Normalizes meaning it becomes like a regular trend. It does increase and it does get better over time, but it's actually where it should be. So, I would say the EV market this year was somewhere over here going through this trough of disillusionment, especially maybe not with adaptation, but with just the money, right? Like how well the price action was going. Anyways, just some interesting things. 3D printing never really took off on the commercial side or on the residential or retail side, but on the commercial side, yeah, I guess so. Human augmentation, yeah, that's definitely a thing. Computer brain interfaces and private cloud computing. Internet TV, that's a funny one, right? Obvious for us now, but 2010 it wasn't so obvious. All right, so let's look at 2021. And the reason I bring this up and the reason why I'm showing you this because of Tesla is Just look at some of this stuff. Okay, so NFTs, you all know what NFTs are, but whatever. Decentralized identity, sure. Okay, can understand that. It's going down, right? But look at all this emerging stuff in this in this piece right here. You have quantum machine learning. So quantum computing, first of all. Who has a quantum computer besides Google? Jeez. Look at all this other stuff. Physics-informed AI. Okay, I can get with that. AI-augmented design. I can get with that. AI-driven innovation. That blows my fucking mind, boys and girls. And just so you know, my company works with machine learning and AI. Not at this fucking level, for damn sure. But we do use it to try to solve pretty nuanced problems. That said, Jesus, this is like... Let me just say this. There's only a few companies in the world that are going to be able to do this. And if Gartner is saying that these things are being worked on, and I know they are. Look at this, sovereign clouds, Jesus. Anyways, apologies for the words and stuff. Anyways, geez. Who can do this? There's only a couple companies. You got Google. Money-wise, I'm talking about. You got Apple. How do you spell Apple, guys? And you got Tesla. And here's the thing. Even if they're not worth their money, this is really an interesting kind of like chicken and egg. Because it got to 1,000 PE, and because they were able to increase shares and CapEx spend, they are now at the point where they have the monies. So if you're wondering if, you know, your ESG investing is working, or you're kind of like, I really care about a company, I want them to see succeed, is working, it's definitely working, because there's not a snowball chance in hell some of these other car companies are ever going to be able to catch up. And so here's the thing, nor are they allowed to be that, right? They're not even allowed to kind of transition into this. So Tesla is allowed to just not even be a car company at this point if they really want it to be, right? And that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make here. So of those people, I really think, you know, you're gonna have to be long some of the most, not generic, but like just the most obvious names, the bigger cap names. Generally, you know, back in the last 3-4 decades, you know, small cap has been instrumental in creating wealth from the ground up, because small cap stocks have been outperformers, right? But, you know, I'm not saying that I have any evidence to prove that that's not going to be the case anymore, but I don't know. It's just not looking good. The other reason, even on the short term, is if you ever follow this chart, and this is the mean reversion line here in the middle, looking at this trend up. We talked about this last week, but, you know, really don't want to talk about that right now. What I want to talk about is, you know, if you ever follow the TSLA chart, you do see this fractal. It kind of looks like this, and then it kind of codes, and this is logarithmic, so you're going to see this a bunch of times, but it just does that, right? So this is like the bigger version, but because it's logarithmic, this is going to be scaled up in this exact, you know, you get what my point is, right? Point is, every time it does that, it ladder steps up. So I'm looking for another ladder step up. Does history mean that it's going to happen? No, doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it could definitely happen. And again, this is going into our long-term no-look portfolio. We'll be buying some of this stuff once a month. And so because of that, gosh, do I have fractional shares in TD Ameritrade? Because that's definitely going to bust my monthly contribution when it comes to... I'm gonna have to, we'll have to figure something out. Anyways, we'll figure it out. If you're wondering what Tesla looks like on the Demark Indicator, this is what it looks like. It's still in no man's land, and it has no idea what it wants to do. But it's on the first count of a sell setup. So, I mean, it can definitely run through. Two key points that Demark is leaning into is 738 as the top of range here, and then 601 as the bottom. So if it stays in range, just fine. We're going to pick up a position pretty soon, especially if it kind of busts through here. But yeah, we sold all of our Tesla on the run up to 900. We sold at about 675. So yeah, I don't have any Tesla, and eager to pick some up here. You know, if we want to break this down, and, you know, this is something that we look at everything looks good literally except for price to earnings ratio. And if you can get over that, then you can get over Tesla. If you can't, then you can't. If you don't think that there's a new paradigm here, and the paradigm basically says people will put money into companies that they love and that they want to grow. And that's the story that you got to believe in. If you don't believe that story, then none of this, even though all this are check marks, all this is check marks, none of it makes sense, right? This is just ridiculous. But, you know, good for those who haven't stepped in the way. But that said, I'm getting out of the way. In fact, I'm joining this gravy train, boys and girls. No, I'm not going to be a Tesla shill because I'm not quite at that point. There's a lot of things that need to work out. But I'm ready to give them credit for being more than a car company, which means this valuation is going to be stretched, is going to be elastic. All right. Anyways, that was a quick video. Probably weren't expecting that from me, especially if you've watched me for the last year. And it's getting close to being a year since we've been doing this. So thanks for watching, everybody. And yeah, really appreciate everybody, especially the Patreons. We're going to be doing some cool stuff pretty soon here. And obviously, we're going to be doing that class soon. So we're going to break that down. And yeah, thanks for watching. And we will see you tomorrow. Bye.